DWI charge after being arrested on New York's Long Island. Here's the now infamous mugshot making the rounds on social media. And according to police, Timberlake was observed shortly after midnight Tuesday morning operating his vehicle in an intoxicated condition. And in this video obtained by CNN from Hamptons.com, a car that matches the police description of his vehicle can be seen driving down the street in Sag Harbor, New York, right before the singer was arrested. Now, according to court records, Timberlake told police he had one martini, quote, and followed friends home. Timberlake was released without bail. Joining me to discuss, Ramin Satuda, New York Bureau Chief for Variety. Thank you so much, Ramin, for joining me this morning. What more do you know about Timberlake's arrest, and how do you think this will impact his public image?
Thank you for having me this morning. So my staff at Variety has been covering this story. It's been one of the big stories in entertainment this week. Justin Timberlake was arrested on Tuesday morning. Police witnessed a gray BMW swerving and not stopping at a stop sign. They pulled over the car. The driver was Justin Timberlake. He was arrested on charges of driving while intoxicated, held overnight, and released in the morning. And certainly the mugshot was seen all over social media, and it has been the talk of social media in the last day or so. He will be returning to court in July on these charges.
Joining me to discuss it is criminal defense attorney Mercedes Colwin. Mercedes, 3 refusals of a breathalyzer while he claims that he only had one martini. How is that going to affect what he faces criminally for this?
Great question, Abby. So it really boils down to this. If you refuse to take a breathalyzer test, you could be subject to a year suspension of your license and also a fine. And it could be an adverse inference when you go to trial. I mean, thankfully, JT has a great attorney who's very well versed in this area of the law. He will probably have it pled down, not to driving while intoxicated, which is what he's charged with, which is a misdemeanor, subject to a year in jail and some other penalties, down to a driving while impairment, which is, it's 15 days in jail, and it's not going to happen.
I mean, but refusing a breathalyzer, is that something that, like, you should advise anybody to do? I mean, if the cop tells you to?
That's $1 million question. It really depends. If you are as a criminal defense attorney, if you say to your client, if you're super inebriated, maybe it's something you should reconsider and not take a breathalyzer test. And then just take the penalties and the adverse inference, because if you are super intoxicated, there are other penalties that attach.
Yeah, that number becomes
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The blood alcohol content is much greater, and past 0.08, it can be very significant.
Mercedes Colwin, thank you.
My source on this tonight, Van Lathan, the media buff and co-host of the podcast Higher Learning. And it's great to have you. I should know, this is the first time Justin Timberlake has ever been arrested. I just wonder what you made of this news today.
I don't know. For some reason, it was predictable. I mean, Justin hadn't had any real scandals in his career, like big scandals, but he's always had just this air of impropriety in so many different situations. You go back to the Janet Jackson thing, to where a lot of people think he weaseled out of that and left her holding the bag. You had the extramarital stuff that went on in New Orleans, and just some other things. It seemed as if he was almost due for something really significant to go wrong. Things that just haven't been going this way lately.
Oh, that's an interesting point, because, I mean, I think, typically, lately at least, he hasn't really been in the headlines except the fact that he's on his first tour in 5 years. And I wonder what you make of the timing of this happening right now, and, whether, how they're viewing something like this happening while he's on his first tour in 5 years.
Well, not great. I think that when you're asking people to come out and support you on tour, and you have something like this happen for someone who has the type of image that he has, father, husband, pop star, probably not great. But at the same time, the thing about Justin Timberlake and where he is right now is that the story has just kind of gotten boring with him. People are a little bit over him. There might be a new spin on his life if people think that he's actually in trouble and they need him. They might go back to the Justin Timberlake that they used to remember and think maybe it's time to cut the guy a break.
Can we talk about what the celebrity kind of playbook is for a moment like this, where they are caught in something, where he is? I mean, obviously, he's been charged.
Yeah, Hakeem, you could cut it.
What he says publicly about it, he hasn't actually weighed in on it so far. But
yeah, too long. Yeah. So Justin, so the aspect of Justin, because I know Jordan stepped away. So as you can see during the clip, He's been charged with DWI, driving without a license, because he had pretty much. He said he had one drink of martini, but like Kendall said in the chat, it seemed like it was that was some martini. Hell, he didn't tell me that name of that martini. I might give me one. Okay, look like it took him for a hell of a cruise. So, Hakeem, what is your take on Justin Timberlake being arrested for DWI?
I'm agreeing with Van Lathan. I think he's been too clean, too perfect. And I think a lot of us deified him as the most perfect man. We did the same thing with Will Smith until Will Smith had the slapping incident. He hadn't had no big issue until the slapping incident and what Jada put out there. Other than that, we still would have looked at them. So it was about time for him to have some issues. You know what I mean? I always thought he was just too perfect without no issues. So, you know what I mean? When I seen this, I didn't really like, hey, it was okay. You know what I mean? I said, yeah, about time.
Yeah, the problem is, I think we as people, we continue to idolize these celebrities, and we keep forgetting that they're humans. They have issues the same way we have issues. They dealing with emotions the same way we dealing with emotions, and some of them sometimes have too much to drink, as we as people have too much to drink. But the only thing is, I know he's gonna get a slap on the wrist just because of the simple fact he's a celebrity. But I think they need to hold charges the same way they'll hold another person charges, like myself. If I was driving with a DWI and had too much to drink, I will be in jail right now.
Yeah.
Even if I do have good attorneys, I will still be in jail. But just because of the aspect he's a celebrity, he get a slap on the wrist and say, "Oh, it's just Timberlake. We don't want him in there because he have a concert coming up." No, he should, the same way a person is being held according to the law. He should be the same. They need to do the same thing with Justin Timberlake. Hold him accountable for driving without a license. Go ahead, Jordan. Your take.
Yeah, my take on it, with this take, I don't shoot, that must, like I said, what Kendall said, it must be a really big martini he was drinking, yo, because if you driving like that, yo, that drink must have been strong. But yeah, with this situation, I'm not really surprised with Justin Timberlake, of him doing that and everything, because like what the guy said, I forgot his name, he said about, with the Janet Jackson thing and everything, with with him, finally apologizing, when he, back in was it 2001, 2002, when they with the Super Bowl halftime show and everything, how that happened was the situation. And yeah, it's just I'm just not really surprised, what Justin Timberlake does. To me, it was eventually something was going to happen and everything. I really don't know what's going on in his life right now. I don't know. I believe he's still married to Jessica Biel, something like that. I believe. I might be wrong, but I just feel like right now, I don't know, something might be going on with his life. I don't know who's doing maybe like crisis or anything. And to me, it's really, really odd. You doing this while you're going on tour and everything in that situation. But yeah, but hopefully he'll, like I said, he learned his lesson and everything. Like I said, I agree with you, Ryan. He's gonna get just a slap on the wrist. I think this is really his first offense that anything he did, as a celebrity and everything. But other than that, I think Justin Timberlake will be fine. But yet again, I think something is going on with his life to do this, and this is do what he did at this extent with the DWI and everything. So yeah, but Justin Timberlake, he'll be okay.
No, but luckily nobody was hurt during his time of driving. That's the good thing. But if someone was hurt, it would be a whole nother situation with Justin Timberlake. But there's a lot of celebrities who do drive without a license, and they continue to get slapped on the wrist. And that's a big issue when it comes to Hollywood. They need to put a stop to it, because before someone get seriously hurt. Well, not really. I think someone did get seriously hurt. Well, I remember the football player. He's in jail now for it. When
Um,
he was driving and he hits the woman's car, I think in Vegas, and the car blew up. I think it was Haynes or something from the Oakland Raiders. Go
don't
ahead.
forget, don't forget Brandy killed somebody,
Yeah,
unalived somebody years ago. He's
yeah.
there. Shout outs to Diary of an Angry Mix Man. What's good, baby?
Yeah, I see him. Shout out to you,
Oh,
big dog. Shout out to you. Go ahead. Hakeem,
Yeah, yeah.
you
So
was
so
saying.
so Brandy was in a situation and she was in court. You know what I mean? So there have been a number of celebrities who have been in accidents and like you say, and have walked away. And I think Brandy was fighting that case. I think depending on the settlement or something like that. So
mm-hmm.
So it is a thing. It is a strange situation.
Yeah, and we talked about a gorilla, was that a month or two ago about her
Oh yeah.
incident. When she got DUI and everything, she in Georgia and everything. Luckily, nobody was hurt and everything. But yeah, these some celebrities, and also with Tiffany Haddish, she
Yep.
got DUI twice in 2 years, I believe.
Hmm.
So a lot of these celebrities, if you got the money, to me, you should call an Uber or get your own personal driver. You got the money. I don't know why celebrities don't do that, but that's what they do, and it is what it is with that.
Sugar Mom said Brandy wasn't drunk, so she corrected you. How can she say Brandy wasn't drunk?
Okay. Hmm.
Okay.
So